Hey Aries, this is your monthly tarot reading for the month of September 2023. This is for Aries sun or rising signs. So I just put out the bi-weekly reading for the full blue moon to the new moon for September 14th, so that period of time. This is a more extended type of reading, so we will be looking at how we can focus the overall message of the reading through an astrological house, and then we will also be taking a look at the beginning, middle, and end of the month, any kinds of prominent challenges that are coming through, and any kinds of spiritual advice. I was feeling this card here. Okay. Yeah, I mean, we're in retrograde season. We'll get into that. I was like, that makes sense to me. I feel like it's this card and this card here. All right. So I will have the astrological highlights video up, but that will be the first major transit that I was going to talk about. I'm pretty sure was going to be for September 3rd. I'm trying to play catch up for those of you who don't know or don't follow me on social media. My dad was, we couldn't find him during the Lahaina fires, and we thought that he was gone, and we were able to locate him, but the process of that has just been a lot, and I'm behind on filming, so I'm going to try to get that video out as quickly as possible, but it might not be until the 3rd. So we're taking a look at what kind of challenge is coming up, and also any kind of spiritual advice. Okay, I like the spiritual advice. That's cool. All right, Aries. So this is what we are taking a look at. So let's start with, as we all know, these are collective readings. So if this particular message really resonates with you this month, awesome. If it doesn't feel like it resonates, then maybe it's just not your message this month, right? These are collective readings, so they can't hit for every Aries across the board, you know, for sun and rising sign. So I would say check out your other sign. If this is your rising, check out your sun sign, you know, but that's the best way is to get a one-to-one reading, honestly. So that said, let's get into your reading. All right, so we are looking at the 6th house. So where is your attention being drawn this month? And it is to your 6th house, which has to do with your health for sure. So it has to do with your health, tending to your health, and your day-to-day routines, like your rituals, your daily habits, whatever they are. As we know, those are the foundational like building blocks for how we can create the rest of our life, like how the rest of our life is built upon that particular foundation. If you can hear that noise in the background, that is my cat. So that's what we're looking at here. Also, we are taking a look at in the 6th house, people who are, we could say employees, or people who work underneath your umbrella, let's say. So let's say that you have employees, actual employees, or you have like virtual assistants, or like you collaborate with people who are freelancers or something like that. Like you have VAs or whatever it is, right? So things like that. And a side note, pets. So I don't know if that feels relevant for any of you, but so this is the area of life that seems to be up. It seems to be being stimulated during the month of September. So, and forgive the glare, I actually should move. Let's see if I can move that light just ever so slightly. Let's see, just enough out of, there we go. That's a little less glare. Is it just me? Am I the only person who notices these things? All right, so we are taking a look at the beginning, middle, and end of the month, right? So we have the Death card, the Ace of Cups, and the 6 of Cups. A lot of Cups energy going on here. The 9 of Pentacles is a challenge, and the Queen of Cups has your, we could call it divinatory advice, spiritual guidance, that kind of a thing, right? So being that we are, and I won't get too much into the astrology because that's what the astrology highlight videos are for. But I will say, like, given the fact that we are still like at the very beginning of this month, and this card represents the beginning of the month, we're coming into the beginning of this month with Venus still being in retrograde, but stationing direct on the 3rd. And even when it stations direct, it's like, it's not like boom, everything just goes smooth again. It takes a little bit for it to like right, to get going. So to build that momentum back to its normal speed. And so there will still be things that are getting like swept away and resolved, right? However, it does station direct on the 3rd. And then we have Mercury. We come into the beginning of the month and we have Mercury that's retrograde until the 15th of the month. So the beginning of the month, plus all the other planets that are retrograde, which go retrograde normally for months of the year, but the more personal planets being retrograde feel like they can be more felt on a personal level. So I say all of this to say that with the Death card, there's often this theme of getting rid of what is no longer needed, putting to rest, like laying it to rest, burying the things that are just like, they're done, they're gone, grieve them, let them go, move forward with your life and create the space. Like it's a clearing out. And we come into the beginning of the month also with having had on August 30th, the full moon, which is a blue moon, to the new moon on September 14th. So this beginning period of the month, it is a very like release kind of energy, right? It's the waning phase of the moon. So we are actually in a space where doing some kind of letting go, some kind of releasing is actually going to be of benefit or be up for us, right? And that's what the Death card is. The Death card shows us that there is something that we are needing to release and let go of that's holding us back. And the more that we resist it, the more that it feels difficult. And I know it's easy for me to say on the outside of things, but you know, that's what's up. So that's what we're looking at here. I just realized that my lights over above are also creating a glare. And we move into the middle of the month, the middle 3rd of the month, and we are dealing with the Ace of Cups. Now this brings in some like kind of like a break in the storm. It's a place of hope and optimism and feeling like there's a renewed sense of faith in the world or in the way that the world works or in the universe. And so this is a really beautiful card to come in. I really love that. So there's this kind of cleansing, there's a wash, there's a renewal that we can expect to happen at this point. Now, I mean, we do have a couple of points like before that in the astrology, which again, I'm not going to get fully into, so you can watch the video for that when it comes out, but that's, there are things that make sense to me astrologically for why we would be feeling this during that kind of period. And then we come into the end of the month and we have the 6 of Cups that is showing up. So, you know, the thing that I will say about the 6 of Cups is that there is this, I don't want to put that. So it's kind of, sorry, that's a really long pause. So it's kind of nostalgic in a sense. It reminds us there's like either someone comes in from our past to bring this energy in, someone that we knew maybe through childhood or that was a friend or an ex even, which I wouldn't be surprised towards the end of this month if that happened, but somebody comes in to make their presence known. And, you know, for some of you that could feel really enlivening and beautiful and amazing. And for some of you, you could be like, hell the fuck no. So, you know, this energy though is meant to, the 6 of Cups is meant to have us remember what it feels like to be in a space where we felt unencumbered by the society's obligations, by having to be an adult and have the weight of the world, the responsibilities that we didn't have to deal with before. And so that's what this card actually brings. So there's a gift inside of it. And also this could be a part of like somebody coming back into your life that you're like, you know what, that's not the best idea for this person to come back into my life. So there's that at the end of the month. I feel like overall there's a release, there's this renewal of hope, and then there is this, you know, possibly nostalgic feeling that comes in that helps you remember like what life feels like when it feels good and it feels like it's in flow, and you can just like enjoy the timelessness of life without the feeling of being like having to be such an adult and so, you know, laden with responsibility. The challenge that we have coming up through the course of the month, and when we're looking at the challenge card in these particular month-long videos, what we're looking at is what is the most prominent challenge that's going to come up, that's going to feel like, okay, there's a theme here, there's a common thread that's like being woven through different kinds of challenges throughout the month. And it's going to point back to your sense of self-worth and to you owning your value and your self-worth and knowing this really deeply for yourself. So this is what it's about, you know, like the Nine of Pentacles, she's like, I've got my coins, I have my shit together-ish, you know, enough. But like, she just knows that she brings something to the table. She knows her value, she knows her worth, and she feels good about it, and she stands proudly inside of that experience in a healthy way. So it being in a challenge position indicates that there is something to do with that that feels challenging, that feels hard to own or to accept, or that there's work to be done around that. And with that, we also have, as part of your spiritual advice, I'm not so surprised because we have the Queen of Cups, and you know, all of the queens are really nourishing and nurturing in different ways, right? Because there's 4 different elements in the deck, and so they express their nurturing in like through a different flavor, right? And so the Queen of Cups is really nourishing and nurturing on that emotional level. She's also very much a muse, right? She's tapped into her creativity, she's tapped into her intuition. She allows that to guide her to move forward in her life, you know? And I feel like part of, like, especially because this is also a very feeling-based kind of card, I feel like there's something to do with your intuition, following that, moving in a direction of what like actually feels good, not only emotionally but physically, because we are talking about the 6th house being a part of this, and we're looking at your health, right? And so it's just like, now because this entire reading is kind of focused through this particular area, it's like, well, where in these areas of life that we talked about are you owning your self-worth? Are there things that are outdated that are just kind of like weighing you down that you need to just release and let go, you know? And I think you're going to come through this experience where it's like, yes, there is that faith, that hope, that trust, in like a renewed sense of trust that comes through. And then moving into the end of the month, again, it could be a person, or it could just be like being like reminded of that kind of like the vibe that I was talking about, right? So I hope that this makes sense. So please let me know in the comments how this lands for you. And also I'm happy to, like, I love when I get DMs, but I'm like, yeah, let's like comment and share in the comment section as well. So thank you for being here. Definitely check out the astrological highlights video. And also, because this is like, it was only a couple days before the beginning of the month that the blue moon to new moon videos, the bi-weekly videos, were shot, I would say go watch that. That's only about like a 5-minute long reading. Those are smaller, shorter little bites. So like, I'll have that up here so you can go check that out. In the meantime, just thank you for being understanding, for those of you who, you know, have been here, watched my content. Just to say, you know, with my dad losing everything in the Lahaina fires, it's been really challenging. We're still really trying to pick up the pieces, and it's been a lot. And so, you know, just thanks for understanding that there was a bi-weekly that I missed, and I am running behind on getting the astrological highlights video out. I would love to have it out in time for the 1st, but I don't think that's going to happen. So just want to say that I really appreciate your patience with that. So thank you for your time. Thank you for being here. And if you got any insight from this, please hit the like button so that it helps me with the algorithm gods, and make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell if you haven't already, so you don't miss any of these kinds of videos on the horizon. All right, I will see you in the next video. Bye.